How to Catch a Cheating Wife or Girlfriend. True Story of Betrayal and Healing. Chapter 1. The perfect picture. John Matthews was the kind of man who believed in loyalty. At 38, he was dependable, a loving father of two, and a devoted husband. He'd been married to Emily for 10 years, and from the outside, everything looked picture perfect. They had a well-kept home in suburban Ohio, two kids who were the center of their world, and steady careers that provided stability and comfort. But beneath that perfect image were slow, creeping cracks, small disconnects that widened over time. It wasn't that they didn't love each other anymore. It was that life got in the way. The kids' schedules, their jobs, the stress, the bills, the never-ending responsibilities. Somewhere between daycare pickups and late work calls, their connection frayed. They used to talk for hours. Now they talked logistics. They used to go on spontaneous dates. Now even watching a movie together felt like a chore. Intimacy was the first thing to fade, followed by the laughter. John thought this was just what marriage looked like after a decade. Less spark, more partnership. He was wrong. Chapter 2. The other man. It started innocently. Emily had been scrolling through Facebook one night and saw a friend request from Mark Adams, her college friend and former debate partner. She hadn't seen him in over 15 years. She smiled as she accepted the request, remembering late-night study sessions and shared inside jokes. They exchanged a few messages, harmless catch-ups about work, family, life, but those messages became more frequent, more personal. They started chatting daily, sharing frustrations about marriage, about feeling unappreciated, about dreams that felt distant. Emily found herself laughing again, waiting for his texts, dressing nicer, even when she was just working from home. Mark listened. He asked about her dreams. He complimented her intelligence, her creativity, her beauty, things John hadn't said in a long time. It felt good. It felt like rediscovering a part of herself she'd buried beneath motherhood and routine. What began as emotional comfort slowly crossed the line. Chapter 3. Signs and Suspicion. John wasn't oblivious. He noticed Emily's sudden glow, the way she guarded her phone, the way she smiled while texting someone she wouldn't name. She was working late more often, going out with friends he never met. She was distant at dinner, cold in bed. He asked once, jokingly, "Got a secret admirer or something?" Emily laughed it off, too quickly. "Please, I'm just tired." But the tension grew. John began to feel like a stranger in his own home. One night, when she was asleep, he did what he swore he'd never do. He checked her phone. There it was. Hundreds of messages. Emotional declarations. Plans to meet. Photos. Flirtation that had long gone past the point of no return. It wasn't just emotional. It had become physical. He felt his heart drop into his stomach. He sat alone in the living room, the weight of betrayal suffocating. He didn't sleep that night. Chapter 4. Confrontation and Collapse. The next morning, John didn't wait. He confronted her while the kids were at school. "I know," he said, holding up her phone. Emily froze. Her face turned pale. "What are you talking about?" He didn't respond. He just scrolled through the messages. Her face crumbled. Tears filled her eyes. "I'm sorry, John. I'm so sorry. It wasn't supposed to go that far." "Then why did it?" he asked, voice shaking. "I was lonely. I felt invisible. You stopped seeing me. Mark made me feel like myself again." John stared at her like she was someone he didn't know. "So you destroyed our family to feel seen?" Emily sobbed, reaching for him. He stepped back. That night, he packed a bag and left. Chapter 5. Why it happened. Infidelity doesn't always start with lust. Often, it begins with unmet emotional needs. Emily didn't cheat because she stopped loving John. She cheated because she stopped feeling loved by him. But that didn't excuse her actions. It explained them. Therapists often say that affairs are a symptom, not the disease. Communication had dried up. Appreciation was gone. They coexisted instead of connecting. John, in therapy months later, would learn how resentment builds silently, how people drift when they stop investing, how avoidance and silence can rot a relationship from within. Chapter 6. What could have prevented it? John's therapist, Dr. Nelson, gave him a list of things that could have saved their marriage, if only they'd done them in time. Weekly emotional check-ins. Not just, how was your day? But real conversations. Physical intimacy, even when tired. Affection is a habit. Counseling at the first sign of distance, not as a last resort. Boundaries. Reconnecting with exes or old flings was dangerous. Honest expressions of dissatisfaction. Bottling it up leads to explosion. Chapter 7. Moving forward, the divorce was messy. Emily begged to try again. John tried for the kids' sake. But the trust was shattered, and every moment with her felt like betrayal echoed in the room. After 6 months of painful attempts, they separated for good. John kept the house. Emily moved into an apartment nearby. They shared custody, but weekends without his kids felt like eternity. He spent a lot of time alone, crying in the shower, driving aimlessly, scrolling through old pictures, wondering how it all fell apart. Slowly, he picked himself back up. Therapy helped. The gym helped. His kids' laughter helped. Eventually, he found peace. Chapter 8. Motivation after betrayal. You are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become next. That quote stayed with John. It reminded him that pain wasn't permanent unless he let it be. He began journaling, meditating, working out. He reconnected with friends he'd drifted from. He refused to let Emily's choices define his future. He would be a good father, a better man, and eventually, when he was ready, a loving partner to someone who deserved his trust. Chapter 9. Smart words to remember. Trust takes years to build, seconds to break, and a lifetime to repair. People don't cheat because they're evil. They cheat because they're weak in a moment where they should have been strong. Fix the small cracks before they become canyons. It's better to fight through the awkward conversations than to live with regret. Chapter 10. Final advice to those in relationships: don't take your partner for granted. Tell them they matter. Communicate daily, honestly, even when it's hard. Notice the little things. Fix them early. If you're tempted to stray, ask yourself why and talk, not cheat. To those who've been betrayed, you are not broken. Healing takes time, but it's possible. Forgiveness isn't always reconciliation. It's for you, not them. You will trust again. You will love again. And it will be better next time. John's story is one of millions. A painful reminder that love requires work, attention, and honesty. It's also proof that even when vows are broken, people can rise, rebuild, and become stronger than they ever were. The end. Thanks for staying with us through this powerful and emotional journey. If this story resonated with you, or even helped you reflect on your own relationships, consider hitting that like button and subscribing to Story Voyage. We bring you real, human stories that are raw, relatable, and honest, because sometimes hearing someone else's experience helps us better understand our own. And remember, no matter what you've been through, healing is possible. You are not alone, and your story isn't over yet. Until next time, take care of your heart and of each other.